Good morning, my name is Sam. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching today because you either already ride an e-bike or you're thinking of getting one. After almost a decade in this business, I can tell you there's never been more exciting time for e-biking in North America. Today, more people than ever are experiencing the joy and freedom that an e-bike can bring to their lives. And the benefits for people's health, for a greater society, and for the planet are significant. We know from speaking with our customers that people feel healthier now they're riding and staying more active. Plus, whatever their reason for e-biking in the first place, people often find themselves choosing to ride their bikes instead of driving, and that's amazing to us. Now, before we talk about the upcoming product lineup, let's talk about some of the issues we're trying to tackle. Despite the real benefits that have come with this rapid growth in our industry, there's been a downside. In too many ways, customer needs are going unaddressed. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's start with the fact that many of the people we speak with haven't been on a bike in years, let alone an e-bike, which can be daunting. E-bike introduced a whole new vocabulary few people have experience with: amp hours, watts, volts, newton meters. They turn to online forums to get educated, but they find themselves more and more confused. Another big reason for the stress and confusion is that the way we shop for a bike has changed. It used to be you just go down to your local bike shop or take a ride to the city. They'd have 2-3 brands to choose from. You choose the one that the trained salesperson would recommend, and you rode away on your brand new bike. Today, many people discover their perfect bike is only available from a direct-to-consumer company, maybe a company like DŌST. And that brings a whole set of challenges. How can you feel confident in your choice if you don't have a chance to ride it? Who's going to repair it if something goes wrong? And what about safety? It's really no wonder customers feel frustrated. So today, we're going to show you how we've been solving these issues, how we've put you, the customer, back in the driver's seat, and how we're, as a company, share your values. First, let's hear from some real-life riders, their stories that guaranteed to inspire.
Hi, my name's Jackie. I've been sailing in Vancouver for over 30 years now, visiting all the Gulf Islands, which are just spectacular by boat. I've never explored them by bike before because the hills are a little daunting. And so now with the DŌST bike, I can put the bike on my boat and go and explore all the different islands. It's just opened up an incredible new world for me on my sailboat. So it's something I've had actually ever since I was pregnant, and it's called inappropriate sinus tachycardia. I could be sitting here talking to you and all of a sudden my heart will be 180 beats a minute. So when that happens, I have to stop everything that I'm doing. So if I'm in the middle of a bike ride, the reason why this bike works for me is because I can stop everything. I can just sit there, I hit the throttle, and it takes me home. And without that, I haven't been able to ride bikes. And the ultimate test was I would have them delivered to my house, and if I couldn't get up the hill without pedaling, then it wasn't the bike for me. And I went through bike after bike after bike with everybody promising me this bike will do it. So when I called Sam and told him what my issue was, he said, this bike will do it. And he showed up and sure enough it did. I just went flying up the hill. So that for me was the big thing. So all of the other parts of the bike are great, but for me, it was being able to get up that hill. So when I say it's been a lifesaver for me, it has been, because now I can get out. I live in North Vancouver and we have some of the most incredible biking trails. And so with the bike, I'm able to get out.
Hey, Dano here. My passion in life is being outdoors, enjoying Mother Nature. Had a hiatus of being on a bike for about 5-6 years because it was just so dreadfully painful. I've had both my hips replaced in the last 3 years, and of course, like any man, waited way too long to get it done. So got introduced to the DŌST just before getting my second hip operation. It made me happy. It took me away from all those other ills that one has. Now life's good again. It just feels like quality. I've been on bikes my entire life, And you know immediately when you get on one, whether it's slapped together, whether there's quality put into it, quality parts, ease of shifting, ease of pedaling, braking, just the feel of being on my bike the entire life. The moment I got on the DŌST, it just ticked all the boxes. I can go grocery shopping with it, I can go for beer with it, I can meet my friends with it, I can go out in the trails with it. It really does have so many different components to it, and just puts a big old smile on my face every time I get on it. It's just an awesome mode of transportation.
Hello all, my name is Robert Lenz. I'm 68 years old and I'm still bike touring as a result of DŌST bicycles. Last year I did a tour from Seattle to Cincinnati that was 4,200 miles over the Rocky Mountains with a fully loaded drop, whom I call Forgiveness. And this year I'm traveling another 4,200 to 4,700 miles. And DŌST has made all of this possible for me.
Thank you guys. But we're not stopping there. Here's Gordon to show you what we're doing to enhance our customer experience.
Thanks, Sam. My team and I are usually the first point of contact with customers actively looking for a new e-bike. Something we hear again and again is, look, I've done my research and the DŌST bike is on my short list. It has all the features I've been looking for, it's fully loaded, and it really ticks all the boxes. Plus, the review sites seem to love it. So I joined the Facebook group and I like what I hear from real owners. I'm pretty sure you guys have the perfect bike just for me. But there's only so much a person can learn online. Is there some way I can try your bike so I can feel confident I'm choosing the right one? We understand how important choosing the right e-bike is. After all, it's a big investment and you're going to be riding it for years to come. That's why we've worked hard to develop some truly creative ways for people to get the experience they're looking for. We're proud to announce the DŌST Showroom Experience, a range of options to help ensure that the bike you choose is the right one for you. First, the virtual showroom. We were one of the first bike companies to introduce a virtual showroom which allows you to connect by video call in real time with a DŌST expert who will guide you through our bikes and answer all your questions. It's the next best thing to being in our own showroom. We find people come away feeling much more educated because of the one-on-one personalized experience. It's been so successful that we're doubling the capacity of the virtual showroom when we move into our new headquarters starting in the fall. Next, in-person visits at DŌST headquarters. Our headquarters and warehouse facility is located in Port Coquitlam, just outside Vancouver, British Columbia, a city that's always had an incredibly strong bike culture. Anyone in the area can book an in-person experience where our e-bike experts are able to guide you through our design philosophy, how we've crafted our bikes, and also give you the opportunity to go for a test ride on the many bike paths that surround us. And finally, the roadshow. Probably the ultimate try before you buy experience. There's never been anything quite like it before. Using our DŌST Sprinter van, we can bring our bikes right to your front door. Not only do you get to ride the bike of your choice, but you'll get to see the whole lineup of bikes and accessories. Because each appointment is an hour and a half long, you can ask lots of questions and go for a good long ride around your own neighborhood to see how the bike handles the hills and the trails where you live. It's a service even local bike shops often can't match. One test rider summed it up pretty well. This roadshow is amazing. At the bike shop, you get to ride 30 yards or 30 seconds, whichever comes first. And because of the incredible popularity and success, we're also scaling up the roadshow. You can expect to see more vans on the road in the new year. Another concern that people rightly have is about service. If something goes wrong with my bike or if something wears out, who's gonna fix it? how do I get my bike serviced? This is an aspect of our service that we're extremely proud of. We understand there isn't a one-size-fits-all solution for every customer's needs. From the hands-on rider who loves to learn and do it themselves, to the rider who doesn't know a spoke wrench from a multimeter. That's why we've come up with several different solutions. Sometimes a problem can be as simple as a battery that needs charging or a chain that needs lubing. That's why we offer free support via live video chat with one of our trained technicians. We have a complete e-bike workshop at our headquarters. The tech will put a bike identical to yours in the bike stand, making it simple to either diagnose or solve the issue. Should you require any replacement parts, we stock a complete inventory in our warehouse and can have that part couriered to your door or to your local bike shop, usually within 48 hours. DŌST is proud to be an approved partner of VeloFix, a complete mobile bike shop that comes straight to your house to service your bike. VeloFix has more than 130 vans across North America. And of course, we pick up the tab for everything covered under warranty. DŌST is a big supporter of local bike shops. They provide an essential service to their communities, and they're a key player in growing biking across North America. If a bike shop is your preferred way to diagnose a problem and repair your bike, simply bring it to an authorized DŌST service center where a qualified mechanic can perform the work. Again, we pick up the tab for anything covered under warranty. And if you want to fix it yourself, we have a library full of helpful videos and articles on how to service and repair your own bike. And that's DŌST service. Back to you, Sam.
Thanks, G. There's a lot of reasons people choose to ride an e-bike, but we've always believed that e-bikes are a critical part of sustainable transportation. Here's Dave to tell us more.
As Sam said earlier, this past summer has transformed how many of us think about climate change, from something distant and abstract to something that's happening right here, right now. We know that transportation accounts for more than a quarter of all greenhouse gases in the US and Canada. So riding an e-bike to get from A to B has never made more sense. For our part, we've always designed our e-bikes so they can replace the car. Features like the integrated racks to carry cargo, a high torque mid-drive for hills and hauling, dual batteries so you can run errands all day long. But given the urgency of climate change, we know that putting zero emissions vehicles like e-bikes on the road, it's not enough. We need to transform how we do business. The planet demands it, and so do purpose-driven customers like you. They want to support brands that reflect their values. This past spring, we launched DŌST Sustain, our roadmap to becoming a more sustainable company. We adopted the Future Fit Sustainability Framework. It lays out a healthy relationship between business, society, and the planet. It's been a big help guiding us in our decision-making. If you'd like to dig a little deeper, check out our full-length Sustain Explained video. Right now, I'd like to tell you about a little experiment we did this summer. We told you earlier about our roadshow, doing private test rides at people's homes. We thought it'd be a great opportunity to test the viability of charging all of our e-bike batteries from solar. So we installed a typical 400-watt panel on the roof of the van and would charge e-bike batteries directly using a voltage booster, or alternatively, charge a battery bank and then use an inverter to charge with AC power. The experiment was more successful than we had hoped. We were able to charge all of the bike batteries for all of the test rides exclusively using solar power. And to date, the setup has produced more than 100 kilowatt hours of power. That's the equivalent of charging an e-bike battery about 150 times, enough to ride 9,000 kilometers, or from San Francisco to New York City and back again. Now, this was just a small experiment. Imagine scaling that up. Given that about half of all trips in the US are 4 miles or less, ideal for an e-bike, and the fact that transportation accounts for so many emissions, and it becomes easier to imagine how we can make some real headway on climate change. At the beginning of the summer, we launched a program called Ride Some Good. It was a way for DŌST to give back to the community every year. This year, we chose to raise money for the cycling advocacy associations that do so much to improve the lives of riders, People for Bikes and Velo Canada. We created the Million Kilometer Challenge, with DŌST donating $1,000 for every 100,000 kilometers ridden. It's been a great way to get people riding for a good cause, and so far we're close to the $4,000 mark. We also worked with People for Bikes this summer to create 4 monthly riding challenges, with DŌST donating prizes to get more people riding. The challenges are tracked with the RideSpot mobile app, and with 1 month left to go, we've had over 1,000 participants. They've logged close to 400,000 kilometers. Plus, we've given away lots of prizes. But we're not quite done. As a grand prize, we're giving away a DŌST e-bike. So far, we've had 600 riders enter to win. The draw takes place on October 31st, so there's still plenty of time. Download the RideSpot app today and complete the October challenge to get your ticket in the draw. And those are just some of the things that we're doing at DŌST Sustain. Back to you, Sam.
As you can see, we have lots going on here at DŌST, but at heart, we're still driven by our love for bikes. So let's turn now to see some of the exciting updates we've made to the line of Drop and Kope bikes. If you've been following DŌST bikes, you'll have heard us talk about our design philosophy and what we call the 3 pillars: performance, comfort, and utility. It's a formula that lives on in all of our bikes. There's a lot of things that make our e-bikes perform like they do, but without a doubt, it's the high-power mid-drive motor that deserves the credit. It has more torque than most mid-drives available on the market, and as a result, it's an incredible bike with hauling capacity and capable of high speeds. Of course, our cargo hauling and high speed don't mean as much if you don't have the battery capacity to meet your demands. That's why we've developed our own dual battery system with 25 amp hours, effectively putting an end to the range anxiety that's top of concern to any e-biker. We know that every rider is unique, and what's comfortable for one person is different for another. That's why our bikes are completely adjustable: seat height, the reach to the bar, and of course, the bar height. So whether you prefer more upright cruising riding position or more sporty position, these bikes have you covered. Utility probably isn't the first thing catches your eye with our bikes, but for us, it's crucial. For us, utility is what makes our bikes capable of replacing the car for lots of those short trips. Features like the integrated rear rack that's welded onto the frame and can carry up to 100 pounds of groceries, the kids, you name it. Our bikes also have integrated front and rear lights, fenders, wide, high-volume tires that are stable on loose gravel, while on paved streets, they're smooth and quiet. Now, let's look at how we're making these bikes even better. A front rack interface on the head tube so you can add our new DŌST front rack for even more carrying capacity. The rack is perfectly complemented by the new fork. The lockout feature allows you to carry heavier cargo without sacrificing handling. The SRAM X5 derailleur and the shifter for even faster and precise shifting. Our new models have even more stopping power and better brake modulation thanks to the hydraulic disc brakes with the larger dual pistons. And finally, our own narrow wide chain ring. This CNC aluminum chain ring replaces a stamped steel ring and is designed to reduce bounce and increase chain retention. The narrow wide ring essentially eliminates the chance of dropping your chain even when you're riding over rough terrain. And finally, the models are both equipped with LED headlights and taillights from Blazine, one of the top names in bike lights. Riders will appreciate better light dispersion and long range. Plus, they still come on automatically in low light or at a press of a button for daytime safety. Our updated Drop and Kope bikes remain at the same great price of $31.99. And all of our existing backwater customers will automatically be upgraded to the newest version. And finally, I'm happy to unveil a bike we've been working on for 18 months, the new line of CVT e-bikes. The CVT is a bike that's so advanced, it's simple. And so simple, it's actually safer to ride. Let me tell you how. When we do test rides with people who don't have a lot of riding experience or just getting back on a bike, we find they can be a bit nervous. They can sometimes be overwhelmed by the combination of shifting gears and using power assist of the electric motor. That's why we set out to make riding even simpler, understanding that the less you have to concentrate on riding a bike, the more you can concentrate on things that really matter, like enjoying the scenery or focusing on the traffic. Simpler, safer. That's why we're so excited by these bikes. What is it that makes these bikes so simple to operate? The CVT models use the latest advancement in the transmission technology, the unveiling heavy-duty hub that enables the rider to shift at a standstill. This ensures you're always in just the right gear. To illustrate why it's important, I'll give an example that every rider is familiar with. Getting started at the bottom of the hill or after being stopped at an intersection in the wrong gear. With the unveiling, on the other hand, you simply twist the shifter and voila, you're in an easy-to-pedal gear and you're off riding again. That seamless shifting is complemented by the intuitive display on the shifter, so you can easily see if you're in a gear that's right for the hills or one that's best for flat terrain. We describe this advancement as a safety through simplicity, and there's no doubt it's going to give a big boost of confidence to a lot of riders out there. But this drivetrain has even more benefits that will especially appeal to our lifelong cyclists. This unveiling hub is completely sealed from elements, ensuring years of maintenance-free riding. It's also been incredibly tough and reliable. That's something we'll spend a lot of time testing. Lastly, with no internal gears, the unveiling hub is absolutely unparalleled for its smooth shifting, delivering an infinite number of ratios, up to 380%, slightly more than our traditional derailleur bikes. There's another exciting benefit to the unveiling hub. There's no derailleur, and no derailleur means we're able to offer a carbon gates belt drive on our line of CVT bikes. That's right, no chain, no lubrication, and no dirty hands. The Gates belt drive is actually stronger than the chain thanks to the high tensile strength of its belt carbon strands, again, ideal for a high torque motor. Plus, the belts are shown to have a longer lifespan than chains because they don't stretch or corrode and don't wear out from dirt and debris that abrades metal. Our CVT bikes are available to pre-order today at $39.99, and we can't wait for you to try one. Let's go ahead and see it in action. To recap, we're committed to a more sustainable future, to keep enhancing our customer experience and introducing new key updates to our product lineup. Thank you all for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time.